Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back for another video. First, real quick, I'm just going to show you this blog because I bet you a lot of people don't even know that it exists, but I've been putting free plays in here every single week. You can see there's 2 free plays already posted. One of them is a money line parlay. I'm not going to get into it right now. You guys can take a look at it. And the other one is a Bijan Robinson parlay. This is thehulkbets.blog. That's it. Just type in thehulkbets.blog. It's completely free. It'll be free forever. This is just me putting out something, just another way for me to share content with you guys for free. Please check it out. I hope you like it. Now, if you are watching this video, do me a favor. Before I get into the intro music, like the video, comment on the video, but most importantly, please subscribe. I appreciate you guys helping me grow. Let's hit the music. The first game we've got to talk about is what has the potential to be a real doozy, a real shootout, and that is the division game between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. This game has a 49-point spread right now, 49-point over-under, and the spread, the line in this game is 2.5 in favor of the Dolphins. This line opened at 1.5, and it has since shifted to 2.5. That means the money is coming in on the Dolphins to win, as they are also the favorite at a minus 135 money line. Probably has to do with them being at home. Both teams coming off of come from behind wins. And I'm not going to get too far into the plays for this game specifically, only because I already created a video for this game. So if you want some more information, a little bit more of a deeper dive into this game, even though the lines weren't out, I kind of gave my thoughts, my opinions on how this game goes. Should be a shootout. I like Tyreek Hill touchdown, obviously. I like Josh Allen touchdown, obviously. And if you're a VIP member, you also got one other play for Joshy Poo Allen here in this game. I'm not going to give it away now. That's for VIP. Click the link if you guys want to get access to that play, and we're going to move on to the next slate of games. The first game we've got is the Raiders against the Baltimore Ravens. This is a Baltimore Ravens home opener. The Ravens are a 9.5-point favorite right now. The money line, if you want to bet on the Ravens, is a minus 470 on DraftKings, and the over-under is set at 41.5, which is one of the lower totals of the week. I think the Ravens smash the Raiders here. I don't think that the Raiders have the firepower on offense to keep up with them, and I think the Ravens defense should do fine at limiting Gardner Minshew, Zamir White, Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers in this offense. I like the Ravens in this spot. The only play I have right now, because all the lines, all the player props aren't released, is I'm going to be looking at a Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. If you watch my previous videos, you know he cashed us out on opening night, and I'm going back to the well in Derrick Henry. The next game we have on the slate is the New Orleans Saints at the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas coming off an impressive win. The Saints coming off a very impressive win as well, albeit against a potentially terrible Carolina Panthers team. The Saints are 6.5-point dogs. The spread is set at 44 or 45.5, and the Cowboys are a minus 285 if you want to bet them on the money line. I do like Dallas in this game, but more so than that, I like CeeDee Lamb to bounce back with an anytime touchdown. Yes, sir, my boy TD Lamb is more of a touchdown king than I am. I like TD Lamb to score a touchdown this week. The next game has the second lowest point total on the week, and that is the slow-paced LA Chargers and the hapless Carolina Panthers. This game's kind of ugly. However, I do have a touchdown play that I'll get to in a minute. This line is set at minus 6.5 in favor of the Chargers. Over-under is set at 38.5, as I said. And the Chargers, if you want to bet on them, are a minus 278 to win this game. I don't want anything to do with the Panthers. I think they're pretty bad. Somebody's going to have to score, but I'm not going to put my money on who it's going to be. And I've got a play here that I'm debating giving out, but you know what? Why not? Let me just give you the play. J.K. Dobbins, anytime touchdown. Thank me when he hits. The next game we have is the 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. 49ers playing at Minnesota. Both teams coming off of wins. The 49ers are 6-point favorites in this game. The over-under is set at 45. And if you want to bet on San Francisco, it's a minus 258. Word on the street is CMC is not going to play in this game. Now, I know we still have some time between now and then, but I don't think they have to rush him back, especially not with Jordan Mason running the ball. He looked efficient last week. We've been talking about him. If you watch these videos over the summer when I was doing best ball content, you know Mason has been a fan of mine, or I've been a fan of Mason's. Maybe he's a fan of mine. I don't know if he watches these videos. He better not, though, because players tend to get in trouble for sports betting. However, I think Mason is in a great spot here. I don't think they miss too much without CMC being in the lineup. All due respect to CMC, just because this line is incredible. Obviously, CMC's here, Mason's in the basement. However, even a guy like Mason can come in and tear it up behind that line. I like the 49ers in this game. I'll have to look at the over-under, but I think I'm leaning to the over in this game. But I think it's possible that this could be a blowout. The next game on the schedule could be an ugly one, and I say that as a fan of DK Metcalf. We've got the Seattle Seahawks going into New England against the Patriots. Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite on the road. This over-under is set at a putrid 38. 38 is the over-under for this game. If you want to bet on the Seahawks, it's a -170. There's not a lot I like on this game yet. I don't really see any anytime touchdowns that I love. I'm always interested in DK and Kenneth Walker, but I just want to see a little bit more and see what these lines and these odds are out at before I bet any money on it. The next game is the most important on the slate, and if you watch any of my videos or you know me, or you've paid attention to my background, you'll see why. It's the Indianapolis Colts going into Green Bay to play the Packers. Now, the Colts are 3-point favorites. The over-under is set at 40.5 in this game. The Colts, if you want to bet them to win, are a -162. Anthony Richardson touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I need to tell you that that's a great play this week. I like Anthony Richardson touchdown. I also like Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown on the other side after this Indy defense was gashed quite a bit. DeForest Buckner's banged up with a back injury. The Colts just lost one of their starting cornerbacks in Juju Brents for the season. That one hurts as a fan as a fan of the game. That's a bummer. We never want to see injuries. This Colts defense is kind of banged up, and they didn't look that great last week to begin with. Now, the good thing is we get to play against Malik Willis this week, starting at quarterback for the Packers. But I think that just means they lean a little bit more heavily on Josh Jacobs. And I don't think he has overall maybe the best game potentially, because I think they can focus on him. However, I do see him scoring an anytime touchdown. Next on the schedule, we've got what has the potential to be a really good game here. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. Detroit is a 7-point favorite. The over-under for this game is set at 51.5. Nice and hefty. And if you want to bet on Detroit to win, you're going to get a -340 for your troubles. Now, I do believe that Detroit ultimately wins this game. However, I think Tampa Bay can keep it interesting. If nothing else, kind of close the gap late in the fourth quarter and make this an entertaining finish. I like a Mike Evans anytime touchdown, and I might even roll out the patented double touchdown for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, each one of them to score a touchdown. I think they're fine individually. I think they're fine in a parlay for a little sprinkle bet. I might have one or two other plays from this game. Again, we're just the most of the lines that are out right now are just touchdowns and game props, so that's what we're looking at right now. The next game on the schedule is the New York Jets against the Tennessee Titans. The Jets are 3.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under is set at 40.5. And if you want to bet on the Jets to win, it's a -180. It'll cost you a -180 for your trouble. Now, I think that the Jets win this game. Let me just be clear in saying that. I don't care that they're on the road. I think that every week, Aaron Rodgers is going to get better and better, get more acclimated with this offense. And he started with a very tough test against the 49ers defense. The Jets offensive line is rebuilt. They're retooled. I think they have 3 new pieces out of 5 on that offensive line, and they looked solid last week. It's just a tough matchup against the 49ers. The Tennessee Titans have some playmakers on that line. If anything, on their defense, that is their strength. However, give me the Jets with a slight edge there, and give me the Jets on a much larger edge as opposed to basically every other position on their defense and their offense. I'll take over the Titans. And then couple that the fact that Will Levis just did not look very good last week. He looked really rattled. I think that the Jets defense gets after this team. And how about this one for a little spicy action for you? Maybe a sprinkle on the New York Jets defense to score a touchdown, okay? You remember that one if it hits. Next, we've got the Giants and the Commanders. The Giants looked horrible last week, and they go into Washington this week, and the Giants are 1.5-point underdogs. The over-under is set at 44.5 for this game with a slight lean to the under. And if you want to bet on the favorite, the Commanders in this game, -122 are the odds you're going to get on DraftKings. Division games are tough. The Giants looked pretty terrible last week. Jaden Daniels looked pretty solid, kind of what you would expect. Some decent passes, but more running upside. The bets in this game, really, I could look at the Malik Neighbors play, and I might have some interest in something on the Brian Robinson Jr. side. I think his anytime touchdown prop is interesting. And if I make that an official pick, I will alert it in the VIP channels. The next game on the slate is the Cleveland Browns heading to the beautiful sunny Florida Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville is a 3-point favorite in this game. The over-under is set at 41.5. Jacksonville is a -162 to win. This game's kind of a tight one. I think that this one is going to be one I probably don't bet too much on. Definitely not money line. I think you could talk me into the under 41.5 points, but I think there's better options on this slate out there. Next, we've got the Rams minus Puka Nacua going into Arizona to face the Cardinals, coming off the come-from-behind loss that they surrendered to the Buffalo Bills last week. The Arizona Cardinals are 1.5-point favorites. The over-under is set at 49.5. I kind of like the over in this. And Arizona, if you want to bet on their money line, -122 on DraftKings. Obviously, I'm interested in Cooper Kupp. With no Puka Nacua, you know to smash Cooper Kupp. I'm curious to see what his line opens up at, his receiving yardage line. If it's 88.5, 90, somewhere around that range, I have interest in the over. If it's anywhere lower than that, smash the over. And if it's anything higher, even like a 94.5 to 96, which I don't think it'll be, I probably would just stay away and maybe look at his anytime touchdown for this game. I was interested in James Conner last week. As you know, he was pretty much my favorite play for an anytime touchdown on the slate. He cashed for us, of course. However, this week, I have to look at it again if I want to take him, but I do think that he's going to have to score to keep them close in this game. And if this line is set accurately and Arizona's maybe a slight favorite, although, you know, the home teams usually get plus or minus 3 points here. So you could say that this is almost more of a toss-up, but I'm going to look at that a little bit more before I make the James Conner play official. Next, we've got Cincinnati headed to the champs, Kansas City. Kansas City opens as a 6-point home favorite here. The over-under set at 47.5. If you want to bet on Kansas City, it'll cost you a -250. I like Kansas City in this game. I don't have much else to say. I don't care if T. Higgins is playing or not playing. I like Kansas City in this game. As far as any player props or anything, I'm going to have to see them when they release to see who's going to be scoring the touchdown. You could talk me to potentially in a Jamar Chase anytime touchdown, squeaky voice, or what is it? Squeaky wheel gets the oil or the grease, whatever that is. Jamar Chase is the oil, the wheel, the grease, and basically their entire offense right now. Give me Jamar Chase anytime touchdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I just have to apologize. I lied to you. Looked you right in the eyes and told you a lie. I apologize for it. What was that lie, you may ask? Let me tell you. There is a lower over-under on this slate, and it is ugly. I should have known better. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos over-under is set at 36.5. Gross. Now, rightfully so. Pittsburgh, I think, won 17-10 last week with Justin Fields at the helm. I haven't seen who's going to be the starter this week. Personally, I don't really care. Justin Fields was Justin Fields. Running around, every so often he'd make a good throw, make a good play to Pickens, and then he was Justin Fields. In this game, there's not much I'm interested in. Maybe a Najee Harris or a Jalen Warren touchdown you could look at. Those aren't official. I'm just kind of giving you guys a lean on this. To be honest, there's not too much to like. However, since I just poo-pooed all over this game, let me at least give you the information on it. The Steelers, 2.5-point favorites. The over-under set at 36.5. And the Steelers, if you want to bet on them to win, not really for me, but maybe -155 here. Now, we've got some good primetime games here, potentially. Houston, I think, probably beats up on the Bears pretty good in their home opener, and the same could be said for Philadelphia. So it'll be good for us as bettors if you parlay the two of those together. There's a freebie for you. I'm not going to break these games down too much because I have a primetime parlay show that I will do that in and break these games down ad nauseum. We'll go into player props, literally everything. So that's as far as I'll go with these two games. And let me just say this. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys each and every day hopping in here, watching these videos. Hopefully you find them helpful. Hopefully you enjoy just hanging out, asking your questions. I try to get to all the questions. Do me a favor on your way out. Comment, subscribe, and remember, bet smart and win more.